10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We have the biggest news ever in history right now that we're about. This is a live video going into the job board. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Northern Utah Jobs on a Sunday. It's January 16th. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We're going to talk about jobs. We're also going to talk about 2021, a year in review, what the job market looked like. It was a crazy year for job seekers. It was even crazier for hiring managers and recruiters, something that I've never seen in my lifetime. So we're going to do a quick recap on the year. But again, this show tonight, we're going to be highlighting a few jobs. If you're a job seeker, tonight's the night. If you're a hiring manager and you need some help, this might be a good time to tune in. Tuvia, welcome to the show, my friend. Tuvia is on LinkedIn, a good colleague of mine over there on the East Coast. He runs a job board through WhatsApp. Really cool business he's got going there. Welcome to the show tonight, Tuvia. And then we've got Dave Wilson, who was going to be live tonight. I was actually supposed to be on Dave Wilson's show tonight, but he had to cancel, not feeling the best. So Dave, rain check. We'll do that again. So we're going live right now, just real quick, into all the job boards in Northern Utah. So if you're in Utah, make sure you say hi. You can say it lots of times. Sorry. Okay, Dave's sick. He's coughing. He's getting better. He's on the mend. Maybe one more day off, Dave, of LinkedIn Live, and you'll be back to normal, right? But so if you're in Utah, make sure you say hi. If you're anywhere on my network on LinkedIn across the country, make sure you say hi, and let's have some fun. So let's start from the very beginning, January of last year. I remember doing a show on the tsunami. I'm trying to remember the right words. What did I use? I've got it right here if I could pull it up on the screen. Expect a tsunami of turnover this year, and that was the same time last year. Hey, David. So this was January. We just experienced the busiest fourth quarter of our lives. Anybody that's been in the raw materials industries, light industrial, really, just about every vertical out there experienced just the busiest fourth quarter of their life. And if you're on the production side, if you're producing the product for the busiest fourth quarter of your life, you were just in for some trouble. There were so many unfilled positions because there was all this pent up demand. I mean, look at this, the supply chain shortage that we're having today. It all started, or we were in the gist of it, or we were in the thick of it. I can find the right words, in fourth quarter of 2020, and that bled into 2021. And so as we looked at how overworked people were in fourth quarter of 2020, and how you had all these people quitting in 2020, and all that extra workload fell onto those people that stayed. So there was mandatory overtime. I remember seeing people basically working from October through January without a single day off. And it was really hard on people. And so we had seen this across the country, and we knew that a tsunami of turnover was about to happen. And it did. It lasted all year. People were burnt out. They felt overworked, underappreciated, and even underpaid. And so they left for greener pastures. Now, the kicker here was the pasture wasn't greener. And so a lot of people that left for another company, if it was in the same vertical, they found that they had the same amount of overtime, the same feeling of not being appreciated, being overworked. Maybe they weren't underpaid this time because they went for a company that was paying a little bit more, but they definitely felt overworked, and many felt underappreciated. And so what we saw was this continuation of turnover. People would leave one company, go to another, hoping for something better, realizing that it's going to be just as crazy. And so then they left that company. And so we saw people that would turn over a couple times, even more some. And so this lasted all year. And it was really hard for employers to keep a fully trained staff, to even get people trained up enough to stay. And once they did, they were gone. And so this supply chain shortage continued throughout the year because of that. And so this was all in January, right? We talked about the tsunami of turnover. And then come February and March on this program, we were talking about this is the last big wave for job seekers to land the job of their dreams. Because there was so much turnover happening, you had these key positions that normally, took a lot of years of working your way up the ladder to get into this role, right? Even these line lead positions were really difficult to get into. You had to earn those positions, and it took a lot of time. It took years. And all of a sudden, that position that was coveted, it was vacant. And not a lot of people were looking for those opportunities or even knew about the opportunity. And many more people just didn't think they were qualified. And so we talked about on this program that now is the time, if you're underqualified, to get that supervisor role. And this was back in February, March, because we saw the tsunami of turnover. We shared some insights on how to get promoted into those positions that normally you wouldn't be considered. Maybe it would have took you another year or 2 years. Maybe you needed another certificate or some sort of education, but this time around you didn't. And all you needed was to be able to, one, master your craft. So whatever position you're in, whatever job you're doing, if you could master that role, become the best of it, become the subject matter expert. When your coworkers come to you for advice and for help, when your supervisor comes to you for troubleshooting tips, that is a key indicator that you have mastered your craft. And at that point, that's when you can get promoted. But there's one other key important factor here to help you get promoted, and that is being a good communicator. You guys have all been around someone that was a poor communicator, right? When you've had a supervisor that's short-tempered, and no matter, it doesn't matter what's going on during the day, they just seem to be upset, right? Those are the types of those are people that are not good communicators. They can't express their emotions in a healthy way. And then you probably see somebody that doesn't know how to filter, tough information, right? When you get hard information from your superiors, that you're not doing something correctly, or your team is doing something incorrectly, it needs to be fixed. And then that supervisor, who's your supervisor, right, comes to you and just lays it down thick, right? You guys are all doing a terrible job. I got my butt reamed. I'm going to get fired if we don't fix this. Like, when they start talking like that, it doesn't inspire you, right? You don't feel inspired by someone that's upset and yelling at you because you were told to do one thing one way, and now all of a sudden you're doing it wrong, and it's all of your fault, even though it was how you were trained. And so supervisors like that quickly became a thing of the past. They quickly got replaced. And so people like yourself, if you're a good communicator if you know how to filter information, if you know how to keep your composure and remain professional, even when you have hard news, if you know how to have hard conversations in a soft way, you're going to get promoted. So it's 2 easy steps: master your craft and be a good communicator. If you can master those 2 things, you'll get promoted. And that's what we shared on the program back in February, March of last year, that in this tsunami of turnover, you can quickly get promoted. And we watched a lot of people do that. Now, as we approached the summertime last year, things started to, at the start of the summer, come May, things were still really crazy and busy, and production needs were at an all-time high. But what we noticed is a lot of companies that adjusted their forecasts down because they weren't meeting their budgeted needs, their production needs. Their numbers went down, right? And so we saw a softening of openings, and this job seeker market, which was very competitive, very easy to get a job, all of a sudden took a little bit of a dip, and it was harder to find those sought after positions. During the summertime, we noticed a lot of companies do several pay increases. So we've seen companies do pay increases throughout the pandemic, right? Trying to attract talent. But in the summer of last year, we noticed a lot of companies, they were fighting for it at the beginning of the year, and then come summertime, they got it approved. And so we'd seen those increases get approved and go into effect. And that created something really interesting come the fall. So in the fall, all of a sudden you've got all these companies that have increased their wages. So it's created some compression in the market. And then you see some companies that created their own compression inside of their building, because all of a sudden you have new people off the street making pretty close to the wages of those that have stayed around for several years. And that created some resentment. And so we saw this tsunami of turnover once again in the fall of 2021. It was really unfortunate, right? But it was also remarkable to see this shift, this ebb and flow of people. And from there, you entered Q4, where you have all that supply demand again, and we have, of course, the supply chain shortage. And so as we ended the year, it became a job seekers market once again. So it happened twice last year, where you could really get the job of your dreams. We noticed in Q4 a lot of competitive wages, so you could make some great wages. We're talking $4 or $5 an hour more for the same job just 1 year later. It's absolutely remarkable. And so companies, what I learned in 2021 is that companies really took notice of their employees, and some realized that they're more than a number, right? They need to take care of them. They need to be competitive if they want to win in the market. They need to have wages that will attract people, so they can get their product out. A lot of companies, the smart ones, looked at that opportunity cost, right? And they realized that they're losing money by not increasing wages, even though on the front end, you're actually losing a lot of money when you increase your wages, right? It's just economics 101. But long term, they're losing more money because they're not getting their orders out, and they're losing customers over it. And so if they could pay more to attract that talent, they'll get that back, right? It might take a few months, it might take a couple of years, but that opportunity cost was very tangible, and they could get that back. And so that was the exciting part about Q4 last year. So that was a quick recap, 10-minute recap and review. So if you are a job seeker and you're looking for the next opportunity, visit elwoodjobs.com and apply. We've got lots of opportunities there. Good evening from Pittsburgh. It's Bill. Bill, good to have you. Nice seeing you, my friend. And if you are somebody that's looking for help, if you need staffing, if you're not meeting your production needs because you're shorthanded, send me an email. You can send it to steven.farrell@elwoodstaffing.com. Just put in the subject line, help, help me, and let's talk. We can help you anywhere across the country. So, and then I'm hiring internally. I'm looking for sellers, business development managers, recruiters. If you want to join my team up in Northern Utah, send me your resume, steven.farrell@elwoodstaffing.com. So thanks for tuning in. Again, this was just 2021 in review. Appreciate you guys checking it out. I'm going to end the program with a couple highlights. Just some job highlights here in Northern Utah. If you're not in Northern Utah, you can sign out, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Hi everyone, Percy.
And Annalie.
Here with Elwood Staffing, and we're proud to announce we're hiring for Autoleave.
With top tier pay rates and a ton of benefits, Autoleave proves that they care about their employees just as much as their customers.
So much so that at 90 days, Autoleave will be offering a pay rate increase and, when hired on by the company, a sign-on bonus. And to show that we care, here's where you can apply.
Go to elwoodjobs.com or click the link.
And folks,
hi everyone, Annalie.
I am Percy.
Here with Elwood Staffing, and we're hiring for Fresenius.
Isn't Fresenius one of the global leaders in healthcare?
Yep.
Aren't they also offering outstanding pay rates with both full-time and part-time shifts available?
Yep.
And aren't they also offering sign-on bonuses through the end of January?
Don't forget about all the other benefits they have to offer.
How could I forget? But I seem to be forgetting, where can people apply to be a part of this fantastic company?
Oh, that's easy. Go to elwoodjobs.com or click the link.
And folks, we look forward to having you.